Alright, so I don't know why, but the subject's been on my mind a lot recently, and I kind of just wanted to talk about this from my perspective, just my thoughts and opinions on the matter. Does money equal happiness? Now, I've been having this discussion recently just with peers and friends and things of that nature, but my stance on the whole thing, I think that money can equal happiness. A lot of the time, when you have money, you have way less problems. Like, you have problems, obviously, that people who aren't considered wealthy don't have, but
got 99 problems, but a bitch ain't one.
In comparison, like to a normal person like me, when you see someone in a position of wealth, you kind of dismiss their issues because it's like, oh, well, you have all this money, what are you complaining about? Which I don't think that's fair. I'm not saying that, but I do believe that when you have money, life's just a whole lot easier.
Very refreshing.
I actually just saw a TikTok the other day, and I believe it was DJ Ghost, or I think that's his name, DJ Ghost. He does reactions to music on YouTube. That's what I know him from. I don't really watch him anymore, but I used to watch him a lot. But he would react to a lot of music videos and just new release songs and stuff like that. But he was talking about how he basically put his whole input on the subject matter.
Money don't make you happy, money, but it's gonna get the bills paid. Money don't make you happy, but it's gonna take me and my kids on the trip. Money don't make you happy. I'm like, man, I don't want to hear none of that. Money makes you great. If I had cancer right now, my surgery costs $250,000 and I got $2 million in the bank, guess who first in line to get that surgery? Me, by the morning, and I'm gonna be well. In a few days after I recover, like, money don't buy you happiness. You might as well ease back and be cool. It's the difference between the projects and the matching.
And he was basically saying that when you have money, there's a lot of things that you can fix. Like, a lot of the problems you have or think you might have, you can fix that with money. Like, if you have health issues, if you have money, then you can afford the best doctors, the best care, the best facilities. When you have money, you won't have trouble paying your bills and things of that nature. Like, if you have responsibilities to take care of, you don't have to worry about that because you have money. For someone who's in a position just middle class, I guess, like, yeah, you might be able to take care of your responsibilities, but the amount of money that's left over after taking care of those responsibilities aren't going to be nearly as close to someone who has acquired a lot of wealth. But you have the freedom to be able to just, if you want something, you can go get it. Someone who doesn't have wealth like that can't really just go and buy things that they want. It's more of the mindset is you get what you need, not what you want. But when you're wealthy, you can do both. So from that perspective, money in that sense can equal happiness, because personally, anytime I'm stressed, most of my stress comes from financial issues. Like, I don't really stress about things. Like, most things don't really stress me out, to be honest. But the important stuff, I have my car payment due, I have rent due, I gotta pay off my credit card. When you're wealthy, you don't have to worry about that. But those are the things that might cause me stress, or like people who are considered middle class stress. And you don't have to deal with those things when you have wealth. Not to say that their problems aren't valid because they have wealth. I think that it would be very naive to say that rich people don't have problems, because they do. Like, a middle class person doesn't have to deal with people using them for money and having to gauge what people's true intentions are. Rich people do, though. I don't have to deal with that, but someone who has acquired a lot of wealth has to. But at the end of the day, I just feel like the pros outweigh the cons, and that's just my personal opinion. People who want things, they have to, if they're not wealthy, they can't just go and get what they want. When you're wealthy, it's like, oh, hey, I want this, go get it. But not to say, you know, some wealthy people, you know the saying, it's how the rich stay rich. You know, wealthy people, they manage their money well, most of them. Not all of them, most of them. When it comes to the whole, like, does money equal happiness, everything becomes easily accessible. When you have money, you're going to be, like, people are going to see, depending on, you know, some people, like, you might have someone like Adam Sandler pull up wearing fucking AM1 shorts and a Hanes t-shirt. But for the most part, people who have money like to spend their money because they worked hard for their money. So yeah, you might not be famous, but this guy pulls up to the club in a fucking McLaren. People are going to wonder, like, hey, who is he? Like, who's that guy? So it's like, money helps you. If you're bad at making friends, money helps you get friends. They might not have the right intentions, but money will get you friends. It will get you men or women, and you can take care of all your financial responsibilities with the snap of a finger, basically. The whole argument about financial security and having wealth and acquiring wealth, like just because you're wealthy doesn't mean you're happy. Like, yeah, wealthy people can have their problems. Like, being wealthy doesn't stop you from being an alcoholic. Being wealthy doesn't stop you from being a drug addict. Being wealthy doesn't stop people in your family from passing. Being wealthy doesn't stop you from being depressed. But these are all problems that people who aren't wealthy face as well. It's a whole lot easier when you have that security blanket financially. At the end of the day, someone who doesn't have that blanket, if they have someone who passes away, they got to worry about funeral arrangements. You might be depressed, but you can't afford the proper care as far as seeking a therapist or a psychologist, therapist, whatever. And if you are someone who's socially awkward, you might have a hard time making friends. If people see you have money, they're gonna want to be your friend. Who is he? Oh shit, he's like balling. All it takes is going out and buying a round of shots for people. And yeah, they're not your true friend, but they're friends nonetheless, or claim to be. From my personal perspective, a lot of my issues that I have now would not be relevant if I had a financial security blanket. If I acquired wealth tomorrow, I feel like a lot of the problems I have now would just vanish. Like, yeah, you have new problems now that you have acquired wealth. You got family members trying to bother you. They feel like you owe them this, you owe them that, blah, blah, blah. But that's why I don't take anything away from people who acquire wealth and their problems that they deal with, because I will never understand that because I'm not wealthy. But at the same time, I feel like having wealth just makes handling things a whole lot easier. If you're sick, you can afford the best care possible. And I saw that TikTok and it just kind of like got me thinking. I was like, honestly, like, does wealth equal happiness? Like, I think personally, when you're wealthy, it's a whole lot harder to be upset or sad or depressed. Now, can you be upset and depressed and sad when you're wealthy? Yes. That is for sure a thing. They have problems too, just like us. But the problems that we all deal with as a society are just a whole lot harder to deal with when you don't have a security blanket financially. I mean, I guess I don't really know much because I'm 24 and not wealthy. So I guess, you know, all this chatting that I'm doing doesn't really matter.
I never liked you, I never liked you. Swear that I be calling for you, but I never need you. Swear that you've been screaming my name, but I never heard you. Swear that you've been crying for me, but I never heard you. I never loved you, sorry I never